Hello everyone and welcome to On the Clock, the one and only show that brings you the best of fantasy football and ultimate draft lineups. I'm your host CC Cam and we got a stellar lineup today as our fantasy analysts will each give their 4 rookie players they think will perform the best in fantasy the rest of the season. And since this upcoming Saturday is the Saban Bowl, your GMs will be drafting their lineups with the best players who played at Alabama and LSU who are currently playing in the NFL. All that and so much more on today's episode of On the Clock. I'm now joined with our expert fantasy analysts, Patrick and Zach, and going into Week 10 of the NFL season, the talent from this year's rookie class has shown out as majority of these rookies drafted this past year are having breakout seasons. Now our fantasy analysts will be giving their top 4 rookies that will continue to bring the heat each week in fantasy throughout the rest of the NFL season. So Patrick, who's your first rookie that you see continuing to make a major impact the rest of the season?
All right, thank you so much, Cece. I'm actually going to be going with Malik Neighbors, Giants rookie wide receiver. He had a great start to this year. He was dropping 25, 29, and then he got hurt and he missed 2 weeks, and now you're seeing a 14. You saw 13, but he's still great. He's still Malik Neighbors. He's going to get back on track. And the Giants' schedule, I know it's probably going to kick up towards the end of the year, but they are a not good team. And what do not good teams need? They need studs, and Malik Neighbor is a stud, and they're going to be throwing to him a lot.
Yeah, Patrick. As a homer myself, absolutely love the pick. Nothing to complain about there. So my first pick, I'm going to go with Xavier Leggetti, whatever you want to call him. Sorry to him if he's watching. But he's the number 1 wide receiver on this team now. Adam Thielen isn't there, or Adam Thielen's come back to injury. He hasn't made a connection with all the QBs. Deontay Johnson is gone, and now Jonathan Mingo is gone. That means they're going to give it to the young rookie wide receiver, and he's going to be a boom for the rest of the season, and I can see him being a very good fantasy quarterback, or wide receiver. My bad.
All right, Zach, I get where you're going, but I got to ask, who's throwing the football?
Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, it doesn't matter.
Sam Darnold.
It doesn't matter. We already saw him do really well with both of those quarterbacks.
All right. I'm going to be going with Ladd McConkey for my second pick. I really like Ladd McConkey going into the draft, all right? You know, he's this great slot wide receiver out of Georgia. He was absolutely incredible for them. And I really like the chemistry that him and Justin Herbert have. They've been very, very, very consistent throughout this season. And I think the more you see Justin Herbert look his way, the more production he's going to have. He doesn't drop balls. He's incredible in the slot. Ladd McConkey's going to have a great rest of the year.
You know, I'm giving you a lot of credit on these picks here, Patrick, but I absolutely love Ladd McConkey as well. I love him because he's just a stud. He's been good since the draft. But anyway, enough with that. I got Keon Coleman with my second pick. We've already seen him put up 13-plus fantasy points in 2 out of the 3 weeks that Amari Cooper has been there. Everything is just opening up for him. Josh Allen is having one of the best seasons of his career. And the Bills are a top 5 offense in the league. There is no reason that Keon Coleman should be getting worse. He should only be getting better from here, and I could see him on a championship roster come championship weekend.
I absolutely love that pick as somebody who's huge on Keon Coleman, was before he even got drafted to Buffalo, which was not great for me as a Patriots fan. But speaking of being a Patriots fan, it's time for me to be a homer. That's right. I'm going with Drake May. Rookie stud, 3rd overall pick. Didn't start this season, but he's come in. He's been an absolute lightning rod. It's crazy to me watching a New England Patriots quarterback that can run the football. And don't say Cam Newton. That season didn't count. All right? He's athletic. He's got a great arm. He hasn't put up less than 18 points when he has been healthy in those 2 games. And in the game he got hurt against the Jets, he still had 11 points in the first quarter. He's absolutely incredible, and the Patriots might stink, but Drake May does not.
All right. Drake May stinks. Sorry, Patrick.
Now, Patrick, as a Pats fan as well, it's been hard to watch the Patriots this season, but Drake May has shown some light the last couple of weeks since he officially started. But this past offense has struggled immensely for majority of the year. So do you see May turning this offense around as he continues to develop to put up big enough numbers for the rest of the season?
You know, Cece, the Patriots offense is so bad, I don't know if there's anywhere to make it turn around. I think you just got to start going. All right, I think Drake May has been great these last couple weeks. He's been getting receivers involved. Demario Douglas has looked good. Jalen Polk has looked bad. But a couple of guys like KJ Osborne have just been fine, and that's all Drake May needs. He just needs them to be fine, and I think he'll be okay on that.
I have to disagree with you here, Patrick. You're saying so many things that are negative about the Patriots offense. So how do we expect Drake May to rise over the top here?
Because he's been producing in fantasy despite having that minimal talent.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go with that. I'm going to trust you here. Me personally, I don't agree. But anyway, I'm going to go with a guy that has not played yet this season, and I know this is risky, but as risky as it is, I'm very confident in my guy, Jonathan Brooks. Now, Jonathan Brooks, standout at Texas, drafted in the second round, had 6.1 yards per carry in college, 10 touchdowns, 11,000 yards. I could read you stats all day. He's going to take over this backfield from Chuba Hubbard, and I see him being a pivotal piece in a championship team.
Well, I tell you what, Zach, he understood the rising rookies because he's definitely going to rise after not playing at all. All right, I am going to be going with Marvin Harrison Jr. for my final wide receiver spot. Great guy, just like Malik Neighbors, generational talent, not a lot of differences between them, but there is a big difference, and it's that Marvin Harrison Jr. has a quarterback, and that is going to help him out a lot this season. I think for the rest of the year, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to stop being streaky. He's going to put it all together. He's going to be so great for that Cardinals team.
Yeah, I agree. I see Marvin Harrison being that guy that he was drafted to be in that second round. Now, to round off our picks here, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams. Now, Caleb Williams has not looked that good all season. I know that. But he is just gaining more confidence. The Bears' offense is getting even better, and I just think he will rise to the top and be a quarterback on a playoff winning team.
Zach, Caleb Williams has been pretty inconsistent as he was unable to register his touchdown for the second consecutive week and has been seen hobbling off the field in their loss against the Cardinals. So do you believe he's worth people picking up or keeping him on their team?
Yeah, CC, I know he's on a lot of waiver wires right now because people don't believe in him, but he was the #1 pick for a reason. And they trust him to lead this offense. There are going to be growing pains, and no matter what, I think he is just going to continue to be good, and I want people to pick him up off the waivers.
Thanks, guys. It has been really amazing to watch the intensity these rookies bring each and every game and how they have grown and developed so quickly. Well, when we come back, our GMs will join us for the long-awaited draft segment. It's reached the time for our final segment of the show, as this upcoming Saturday is the return of the Saban Bowl, an absolute classic SEC rivalry between number 11 Alabama and number 14 LSU. Now, both these teams throughout the years have produced some of the best draft prospects to reach the NFL each year. Now our GMs get the opportunity to draft their ultimate lineups of players who are currently in the NFL, but went to either Bama or LSU. So Jack, kicking it off with you, who's your first pick?
I'm going to go with the best wide receiver in all of the NFL and the best current player from either of these two schools. Give me wide receiver Justin Jefferson, one of the best players in all of the NFL.
He might be the best wide receiver in the NFL, but when you're talking about a scary running back, you think of Derrick Henry, my pick with the Baltimore Ravens. People were saying he's washed. Yeah, no, think again, because Derrick Henry is still one of the most prolific running backs in football and can stiff arm any defensive player in the league.
Okay, I don't hate either of your guys' picks, but for me, I'm going to be going with a wide receiver here. I want Jamar Chase. He already has Super Bowl experience, which is something that neither of you guys have, and he has been absolutely phenomenal on this Bengals team. And with me making my next pick of the back-to-back here, I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the two running backs in the Sonic and Knuckles tandem that the Lions have. Those two have been phenomenal. Gibbs himself has been unbelievable.
I love both of those picks, but for my next pick, I'm going to get both my running backs out of the way. Give me Josh Jacobs of the Green Bay Packers. He's honestly been overlooked as a Green Bay Packer, and we have to remember, this guy's a solid receiving back and a very solid running back. I think pairing him with Derrick Henry is ideal when you're talking about running back tandem.
See, now for me, I'm in a very tough position here. The running back depth in this draft is very, very weak. So I'm going to take both of my running backs with these next two picks. First, I'm going to take Najee Harris. This is one of the most underrated running backs in all of the NFL. Coming out of Alabama, now with Pittsburgh, he has been electric throughout most of his career. He had a little downslope in like his second, third year, picking it back up under this new offense. And next, I'm going to go with a very young running back that's a stud, Brian Robinson Jr. He has been amazing. And he's a big part of this Washington run game, the best running back in this Washington team. I'm excited to have both of these guys, two very good running backs, maybe not as much of star power, but very good players.
As a Brian Robinson Jr. fantasy owner, I can't disagree with the Brian Robinson Jr. pick. That being said, this is a guy I don't have in fantasy football, but I wish I did, and I bet the fantasy analysts would agree with this. Give me Malik Neighbors, the most prominent wide receiver in the draft class. He has been incredible on the New York Giants. Dude, he is the star of that team. There's nobody else on his level. He is my pick for one. He's certainly a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Probably not going to win it, but he's certainly up there.
So I feel like you just missed on a way better wide receiver there. Give me Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here with Malik Neighbors?
What?
And then give me my quarterback. Give me LSU legend Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal at LSU, phenomenal on the Bengals. You can't go wrong with Joey B.
I love the Joe Burrow-Jamar Chase connection. But that being said, give me Jalen Waddle at the next wide receiver position, one of the most underrated receivers in the league, paired with Tua Tagovailoa with the Miami Dolphins, alongside Tyreek Hill. Learning from Tyreek Hill, he's an incredible wide receiver.
Thank you so much, Falco, because you just gave me the best young quarterback in all of the NFL, Jaden Daniels. I've taken this guy a lot. I'm super high on Jaden Daniels. I think he is going to be a superstar. Coming out of LSU, winning the Heisman, and now being 7-2 on the Washington Commanders. What he has been doing is insane. Oh, and also, sorry, I forgot I had back-to-back picks. I'm going to take my other wide receiver position. I'm going to go Amari Cooper. This guy, a stud, a key piece for Josh Allen in this Bills team. He has been productive everywhere he has gone in his career, and now with Buffalo, he is a stud again.
I didn't realize this draft was happening in 2015. That being said,
Have you
give me
watched
one of the most
football?
underrated wide receivers, and especially with fantasy football and currently in the NFL. Unfortunately, he's out right now. But give me Brian Thomas Jr. with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, once again, I beat you with my wide receiver pick. Give me Calvin Ridley.
Whoa,
That's pretty-
That's
Yeah,
not insane.
that's a
I'm
good
making
one.
a huge bet on this
Go
guy
for
right
it.
here with Calvin Ridley. So anyways, I got to round out my team here. I'm going to unfortunately have to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire with my last running back spot. Like we said earlier, it's a pretty thin class for the running backs. He's kind of who the best available person was, but overall, I cannot complain about my team.
All right. I mean, it sucks that you had to pick Clyde Edwards-Helaire there. But that being said, with the final quarterback, you know what I learned these past couple weeks? Tua Tagovailoa learned how to slide, and that's why I'm so happy about this pick. He's with you, one of the most elite wide receiver corps in the NFL, and he is prominent when he's on the field. And he finally learned how to slide. He finally learned how to slide. He's learning how to be safe. He said, "Screw the Guardian cap. I'm going to learn how to play healthily," and I think he's going to do so.
It was a personal preference for Tua not to wear a Guardian cap. It's a personal preference for me to not have him on my team. I'm totally okay with that. I'm going my last wide receiver. I'm going with one of the best young wide receivers when he's on the field, Jamison Williams of the Detroit Lions. He is a deep ball monster. He's dealing with injuries, suspensions. I mean, the guy just needs to stay on the field, but when he is one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL.
Those are some pretty stacked teams, if I do say so myself. But we'll be right back for our GMs to choose a player from their team who was either on Bama or LSU, debate which team and year their player was on during that time was the best. Welcome back. It's now time for GMs to each pitch which player from their team they are choosing came from either Bama or LSU and why it is the best. Jack, start us off.
Well, I'm going to go with 2020 Bama. I'm picking Najee Harris for my team. This is the best team of all time. Mac Jones was the quarterback, and that's off to a hot start. But then you get into the real depth of this team. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Najee Harris manning the offense. The offensive line was stacked. Landon Dickerson and Alex Leatherwood, who was really good in college, didn't pan out in the NFL. Then you get to the defense. The best cornerback in the NFL currently is Pat Surtain. He was on that 2020 team. Will Anderson, second overall pick in 2022. This team didn't lose a game by less than 10 points. They didn't win a game by less than 10 points. They had 0 single-digit wins. They had 6 top 20 teams that they defeated, the best team of all time.
I respect that for a lineup and the personnel. But let's talk about the college football playoff for a second. With the 2015, by the way, my pick is Derrick Henry, and the 2015 Alabama Crimson Tide, an incredible team with offense and defense and great coaching. That being said, in the semifinal of the college football playoff, the Alabama Crimson Tide blew out the number 3 ranked team in the nation in the Michigan State Spartans 43-0. Incredible.
So I will be going with 2019 LSU and Joe Burrow. What comes with Joe Burrow is Jamar Chase, and that is the greatest quarterback to wide receiver tandem in college history. Okay, this team went undefeated. They handed Trevor Lawrence his first ever collegiate loss in the national championship that season, blew out that Clemson team. This LSU team has more than 26 players in the NFL. They are absolutely phenomenal. How could you not pick them?
How did you not even name Justin Jefferson, the actual best wide receiver from that team? Anyway, let's get into why Alabama is the best team, because they are. 2018 LSU struggled against some teams. That defense wasn't fantastic. 2015 Alabama, I don't even know who they went up against. Name me one player on that Michigan State team that's in the NFL today.
Well, you know, it is, but they are great.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right, you know, that is a fair point, though. That being said, they were the number 3 ranked team in college. I didn't know that college team made it didn't really matter in the NFL. You mentioned a great college player that didn't pan out in the NFL. There are a lot of great college players that don't pan out in the NFL. And that being said, those great college players were the number 3 ranked team in the nation in the Michigan State Spartans. And that being said, you know who's also, I talked about coaching in my little introduction there. You know who's the defensive coordinator for 2015 Alabama? Kirby Smart. He is a national champion, a defensive mind. Are you kidding me? With Nick Saban at the helm and Kirby Smart as the DC, that's incredible. And along with NFL level defense.
Okay, I just want to say something.
Okay, go for it.
You took my
I got a rebuttal for your team.
You took my next point right from me. Not only did they have Jamar Chase, they had Justin Jefferson. That is two of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Imagine those two on the same team in college. That is unbelievable. This LSU team, you guys are just not giving them the credit that they deserve. They literally went into Alabama, blew them out, and the LSU players were going up to the Bama students that were recruits and telling them, come to LSU because we're
one
better.
One thing, Evan. I don't think you've answered my other point. Who was on that defense? That defense gave up so many points. This Alabama team was the most well-rounded team. They might have had the overall superstar power, but they had the entire well-rounded squad.
Sorry to cut you off, Jack, but that debate was sure one for the record books. Hard to say which team truly takes the cake, since the majority of these players are top talent in the league right now. But I'm so ready to break out the popcorn for the drama this rivalry will unfold this Saturday. Well, that wraps up everything for today's episode of On the Clock. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to tune in next Thursday at 5 p.m. for even more fantasy takes and GM debates. I'm CC Gam. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everyone.